Hello and welcome to my channel again. It's still me, Beverly Ononye. I think the last video we talked about a portion of Matthew 27. One of the things I learned from that chapter. Still on Matthew 27, in this video, I'd like to share something else I saw in that chapter. I'll be reading from Matthew 27 from verse 15. So let's read together and see what it says. It was an old custom during the feast for the governor to pardon a single prisoner named by the crowd. At the time, they had the infamous Jesus Barabbas in prison. With the crowd before him, Pilate said, "Which prisoner do you want me to pardon? Jesus Barabbas or Jesus the so-called Christ?" He knew it was through sheer spite that they had turned Jesus over to him. While court was still in session, Pilate's wife sent him a message. "Don't get mixed up in judging this nobleman. I've just been through a long and troubled night because of a dream about him." I think I'll stop there. You see, I read that thing and I was like, wow, I know that a lot of us, children of God, would want God to show up for us like that, right? Like, while somebody is trying to do you harm or do something wrong to you or whatever that is not good, that God will just show up, appear in that person's dream or show up in one way to stop that person from doing what they want to do, right? And if God doesn't show up, a lot of us Christians can get offended and be like, how about God? You myself, they try you. Shit, it was your work I was even doing. You couldn't even come up and defend me. You saw how they were doing me. And you were just silent. It's like you just abandoned me in the middle of the whole thing like that. Some people really get offended, and some people can even from that point in time like walk off on God and like, I beg, if I like this I know they do again, that kind of thing. But one thing I would like to ask you, I'm sure each and every one of us has gone through a scenario where we would like God to show up on our behalf like instanta, but I'd like to ask you, why would you want God to show up? What is your reason for wanting God to show up? Really, what is your reason? Is it so that you can prove to them that you are serving God, or is it to glory for his own glory? Is it just to feel good and say, shall I tell you that's how they serve God? As in, do you know whose child I am? Do you know that kind of thing? Is that why, or is it to glorify him? If you read through the earlier portions of that chapter, you will see that they had started maltreating Jesus seriously before this portion. They had beaten him, they had slapped him, they had spat on his face, they had done all sorts of things to him. And in all those things that they did, even plus the betrayal of Judas, plus all those things, God did not show up in that way. Because I know that if God had showed up, like maybe one of those soldiers was raising hands to give Jesus a slap like this, and as he just raised the hand, God would just paralyze the hand or cause the hand to become leprous or cause one of them to just go blind, or just angels would just appear, that kind of that kind of thing. It would have caused serious commotion, and they wouldn't need any other further proof that this guy is innocent or that he is actually who he says he is. So what am I saying? Whenever that thought comes to your mind, like, God supposed to show up like this now. Abba, why did God abandon me? Or this kind of thing, am I really serving God? Or this is God is supposed to have shown up on my behalf. God is supposed to have, when those thoughts begin to come into your mind and you begin to feel discouraged, do me one favor. Pause. Pause and think. Ask yourself the questions I just asked. And then do yourself a favor and remember, God does not have anything to prove. He doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. He's God. He's God. Whether we like it, we believe it or not, whether the whole world believes it, agrees or not, He is God. Full stop. He alone knows exactly what will glorify Him. You can't know what will give Him glory more than Him. He knows what will give Him glory, and He will do that which will glorify Him and that which is for your good. So if you can trust Him to do that which will glorify Him and that which is for your good, and also know that He really doesn't have to prove anything to anybody, then you can relax and say, it is Him that is in charge of the situation. Whatever He chooses to do is fine by me. I hope it makes sense to you or not. Stay blessed.